Today on r/IDontWorkHereLady, rude Karen gets told off. This is a bit different from the other posts. I was in Walmart after there was another remodel and things were changed around again. I was looking for the pots and pans section. Because I hate to assume anything, I asked a few people who were putting inventory up if they worked there. They said no, and I apologized for bothering them. I told my mom that I couldn't find the section and they graciously told me where it was. That was when a rude Karen started screaming at them. Why did you help her and not me? Because you are rude, she's nice. I'm honestly surprised. I have seen people's face get really red when angry, but her face turned an ugly blue and purple shade as she went nuclear. She was painfully loud, but it was absolutely fascinating to those colors change the angrier she got. And since I sometimes like to start things for entertainment, and I was curious as to just how much angrier I could work her up. I was about to just start when I got elbowed hard by my mom, followed by the look. I briefly debated on whether or not to ignore the mom look. The decision was taken away when the manager turned up and escorted the Karen right out the door and banned her from coming back. I was so disappointed. My mom saw my look and started laughing. Like no sympathy at all. For our next story. Where are the reindeer? Just remembered this one after finding this sub. For context, I'm a gardener and usually go about in my work gear because it's comfy. Me and the family went to a garden center about a week before Christmas to look for decorations, new home after we moved in together. So there's me, 33 male dressed in forestry gear, fiance, 32 female dressed in standard goth stuff, and my stepdaughter, 10 female dressed like a 10-year-old. We're moving around the place as a family, choosing things for the Christmas tree. They both go to the toilet and I'm left holding all the decorations in a basket. Woman comes up to me and without even saying hello goes, "Woman, where are the effing reindeer? I was told they would be here, and now my son is upset." Me. The F? You talking to me? Woman, how dare you use that language? I am a paying customer. Where is your manager, etc., etc. Me. First off, I'm a customer as well, and secondly, if you want to talk to my boss, I'm him. Do you want to ask me nicely or continue going on like a child? Thankfully, the color drained from her face and she quietly left. I got some amazing mushroom baubles for the tree and the Baron got to feed the reindeer, which were clearly signposted. I did not see her or her son at the reindeer bit. Let's dive into our next story. You work for the supermarket, stop pretending to be someone else. So this has happened to me today and I needed to share it somehow. Therefore I am putting it into the ether of the internet and not expecting anyone to read it. I just got out of my beat-up old car, having parked in a Waitrose car park, and was routing around for what I needed when I became aware of someone standing behind me. I turned around to see a well-dressed lady who I would guess was early to mid-50s, and the interaction went something like this. Lurker employees should park their cars out of sight. This is for customers. Me, sorry. Lurker, you must move it. I don't care if it's convenient. You should move. Bearing in mind I'm wearing a Marvin the Martian t-shirt, suit trousers and dress shoes, I was at best perplexed, baffled and straight up confused. She continued, I expect certain standards. We pay for the quality and you should know this. I would love to say I came back with a witty retort, but instead I stared, probably stuttered, and she took the opportunity to turn away and made her way in. Considering these types of interactions are not uncommon in my world, I was still trying to get my head around this, so, after a little dithering, decided to go back to what I was doing. For those who are unaware, Waitrose is an upmarket supermarket open to the general public at large. It is, as far as I know, open to anyone and everyone. As it happens, I'm also not an employee. Why was I there? I had been graciously invited by a group of local charities to provide expert insight into disability and unpaid care situations. I work for a national charity in that area of work. That is my job. So I grabbed my bag of leaflets, popped up to say who the charity was and my privacy tent, and headed in. The privacy tent is important. If the brilliant local workers can't support someone, it is likely to be a difficult and highly personal situation, and this gives people a chance to share out of the public's view. I said hello to the organizers from the supermarket and the local charities, set up and popped into the tent to change into my branded garb. At this point, I heard the first people come around and I took the chance to take a few deep breaths before starting. It is surprisingly unsettling to know you are about to start asking people to share intimate parts of their lives, and then have the ego to say, and I know how to make this better. It's something that, despite being for the most part true, I will never be comfortable with. Local charity worker, LCWOP, are you ready? We have someone here for you. Me, yep, yeah, of course. Pops head out of tent. Oh. Lurker, that's not funny. To LCW, to me, what do you think you're doing in there? Me, sorry. Side note, I really say sorry too much. Lurker, you have no idea how insulting this is. I want your manager. And you, turning to LCW, who is your boss? LCW clearly confused. This is OP. He is from this national charity and is offering expert advice. Lurker, no he isn't. LCW, he is. Me finally getting composure back. Hi, I'm OP. I work for national charity, and I am the subject expert for this nation in X, Y, and Z. We are about to go into payer. Lurker, stop it. No, I saw you outside. This isn't funny. You can't get people's hopes up. Me, I'm sorry. See what I mean? But no, I really am the subject expert. Here, let me show you some of the resources I wrote. Lurker, don't insult me. I want to speak to your manager. Grabbed a guide and stormed off. I didn't have time to dwell on this. A lovely lady with her autistic son was waiting patiently to see me next. She was clearly a bit bewildered as well, and asked if I really did work for who I said I did. I offered to pull up the website and show myself, but she decided the branded clothing with staff across it was probably good enough. After a complex 20 minutes, but at least a route forward for that lady. I was expecting another person when a very sheepish supermarket manager, SM, was waiting. SM, were you rude to this lady? Gesturing to Lurker. Me, no, she has been rude to me though. SMO? So I proceeded, with interjections from the local charity worker confirming my side of the story, what had happened. Once I get going, my confidence and communication does improve significantly. The supermarket manager turned and simply asked the Lurker to leave. Lurker, I haven't even started my shopping yet. SM, I'm asking you to leave my store. Lurker, you're protecting your employee pretending to be a charity. Rather aggressively stepping to the manager, you're as bad as he is. SM, please leave now or I will have you escorted out. Lurker, really? SM, who seemed to have divine security out of nowhere, yes. Please leave. Lurker, fine, and pushes a bunch of leaflets off a nearby table. And to be fair, she did leave. There was much apologizing, and I got a free bacon and brie sandwich which I very much enjoyed. It's that type of supermarket. On the plus side, I have helped a few people, and it seems to have been a successful, and outside of this, an uneventful event. Yet I still can't help but wonder why she needed support and if she could have been helped. I really hope she took the leaflet and gets in touch. Although, I might get a colleague to front that inquiry. I'm not sure she will ever believe who I am. On to the next story. I don't work here, I'm just wearing a hat. The only pub in our area at the time was run by a group of hipsters and had a huge outdoors area, which meant it was really popular in the summer. One day, it was so hot that I decided to wear this straw fedora I'd bought years earlier. We go to the pub, order drinks, find a table, and I go off to find the toilets. As I'm walking back to the table, two guys stop me. Excuse me, mate, what time you doing food till? Oh, sorry, I don't work here. They apologize and we walk on. I get outside and I'm almost back at our table when a woman taps me on the back and tells me she ordered the chipotle mayonnaise. I blink at her, she scowls at me, and I cotton on and tell her I don't work there. Never wore that cursed hat there again after that. For our next story. Claw machine guy, been in this sub a while, figured I should share one of my own tales. Happened last week, short and simple one. I was out shopping at the local mall. They had a few unusual vending machines and the like around, including a fairy floss one and a claw machine one. I passed by a guy using said claw machine as I left a grocery store. He promptly stopped me and requested I get a stuck prize out of the machine for him. I'm wearing basic, casual clothes, denim jeans and a plain t-shirt. 2 bags of shopping in hand. No way in heck I look anything like staff of any store, let alone the mall itself. The mall staff wear black suit pants and white dress shirt, with a badge and radio. Despite telling him sorry, I don't work here, gesturing to my clothes and shopping, he now demands I open the machine for him. I repeat myself and try to calm him by letting him know what the mall staff look like, and that they're usually roaming nearby. Dude just looks defeated and says it's really unfair the machine is broken, and that I won't fix it. Clearly stuck in a loop, I just walked off saying hopefully mall staff will come by. Bye bye, claw machine guy. Hope you got your prize out of there without harassing more random passersby. Our last story for today. It's gotta be the uniform. Not a very dramatic one, I just thought it was kind of funny. I work in an auto shop, so I'm at parts and hardware stores pretty frequently. The other day a tech lost our only 32mm socket, so I decided to run to the nearby parts store for a new one. I was still in our uniform, all black, button-down shirt with our logo in several places and work pants, and the uniforms at the parts store were red and gray polos. I didn't find the socket I was looking for, so I asked the guys at the counter whether they carried it, but they said no and suggested a hardware store that my shop often uses. I thanked them and headed for the door when a man stopped me and asked if I could tell him the price on a can of Freon. I said no, but I'm sure the guys at the counter over there would know, and he seemed to realize a second later that I did not in fact work there and apologized. I laughed and told him it was probably because I was in uniform, and that was all there was to it. So then I go to the hardware store. As far as I can tell, their uniform is a navy t-shirt with the store's name on the front. They don't sell the socket I'm looking for individually, but they have them in packs of multiple sizes, and this place has an open box shelf toward the back, so I decide to try my luck there. As I'm heading that way, another man stops me in front of these motorized cord machines, which I could not for the life of me tell you what they are or what they're for, and asks if I know anything about them. I say no, sorry, I truly don't even know what the product is that he's asking about. He pauses, looks at me, and asks if I work there, and I gesture to my shop's uniform and tell him no. He then starts making conversation about how he's new to boating and doesn't know what he's looking for, and at this point I really need to get this socket and get back to my shop, so I try to politely suggest he ask an employee, and then walk away. If I had a nickel for every time I was mistaken for an employee at another store while wearing my shop's uniform, I'd have 2 nickels. Which isn't much, but weird that it happened twice, in the span of maybe an hour no less. Also didn't end up finding the socket I was looking for. And those are all the stories we have for today. See you tomorrow.